division, we have Andre. He ain't got a nickname. So in the middleweight division, we have Andre Petroski and Welington, the prodigy Turman. That nickname got to go out the door at this point. Split decision against Sam Alvey, and then like a gimme fight against Misha Serkinov. Misha's one of those guys. Him and Sam are those guys they kind of throw at you when they just want to get you back on track. And in fact, they do the same thing with Carl Robinson too. And he barely, he actually lost a split decision to him. That just kind of sums it up in a nutshell right there, man.
Yeah, he's too one-dimensional the way he fights. It seems like he's kind of stiff. Like when he throw his punches, what we know is he's trying to get the fight to the ground. But when he's standing up, there's always openings for him to lose on the feet. Because he kind of is like a watered down version of Chris Weidman. If you take away, and his striking is nowhere near Chris Weidman's, if I'm just be honest. But it's just, he's looking to like get his opponent against the cage and to try to, like, he like backpacking his opponents. He'll jump on their back and try to get the fight to the ground. Even if he don't get the finish, he'll try to like get the points. And
it's so odd because he wants to fight on the ground, but it has to be under certain circumstances. Because I remember watching him get ground and pounded from his guard, and I'm like, how many times do you see people just get ground and pounded from their own guard like that, and they didn't even get dropped beforehand? They just on the ground and just get beat like that. And then, but the Bruno Silva, Bruno was on a streak at that time. But the Sam Alvey split decision one was like, that make you scratch your head, man. And then Misha, is he even still in the UFC? Was he on that list of people that got cut the other day?
Yeah, I think he definitely got cut from the UFC.
So it's like, it's good that he's winning. It's better to be winning than to be losing, but I ain't got the whole word to say about that.
It's just not impressive, man, because like they both landed the same number of significant strikes, Sam Alvey and Welington. And it's just like, you can't outstrike Sam Alvey, man. Yeah. It just, are you good enough to be in the UFC?
Yeah.
And then when he fought Bruno, he landed one significant strike.
Oh man, that was bad. That was just a terrible performance. Now then we got Andre Petroski on the other side of that. Was on the Ultimate Fighter Season 9. He lost to the person who ultimately won, but they brought him back in, and he's actually won 1, 2, 3 fights in the UFC so far. So technically he's 4-1 in the UFC. These are grappling. They put the grappling stuff on there.
Yeah.
And look like he just submitted Eric Anders with an anaconda choke at Fury Grappling 5, which is...
And nothing to brag about, to be honest.
Yeah. You don't think so?
In
pure grappling, that's a big, strong boy, though.
That's not what his, like...
I know, but that's a strong dude to be...
How he won?
Anaconda choke.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying. There wasn't no rear naked choke. It was...
Yeah.
So, and then look, he got an anaconda choke. This is going to be the same thing that's going to happen to Welington. I'm sorry. I just don't know what Welington can do. And Welington don't have the heart to stay in the fight long enough if it get gritty. And Andre does. And I just don't see...
Because we seen Nick Maximov take him down and get submitted.
Yeah.
And that's how...
that you would think that would be the game plan for Welington.
Yeah, that's how Welington fights. Get people to the ground, man. Do he want to get Andre to the ground, especially in the first round?
And he can't stand
It's only one thing. It's only one knock with Andre. That cardio ain't the best, and then over time, man, like his punches get slower and slower, man. Then he had this one fight. Andre had this one fight against this guy named.
How far along was that, man?
He was actually going back 20.
Oh,
it was actually his first fight outside the UFC or before the UFC. Aaron Jeffrey, and it was in LFA, and the thing is. Andre has this thing where he sits back and he try to land the left hand. That's his striking, man.
But I think that was a learning thing. I think he learned from that because he's much better now.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to hold that one loss against him because, like...
Yeah. Because that's all Aaron did. Aaron Jeffrey, all he did was he waited for Andre to get tired and he just, he overwhelmed him. He put pressure on him and he just got him in against the cage and just did knees and just, went to Andre's stomach and just... finished him, but it was pretty brutal to be honest. But
And
I
he was
mean,
against the cage.
yeah, it was pretty brutal, man. But I mean,
But man, I'm looking at these.
it's just his striking, man. I'm not sold on his striking.
But guess what? It's going to the ground. Look, win by ground and pound, arm triangle, anaconda choke. He's anaconda choking people in fear grappling. Welington finna get anaconda choke, bro, or ground and pound. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing. Like Andre's strike ain't the best, but it's better than Welington. And it's good enough to where he can avoid what Wellington is trying to do,
Exactly.
and do what he needs to do. Which, what is he gonna do, Andre? He gonna have to keep the fight standing up, man. Like,
yeah, but Wellington don't really put together game plans like that and stick to it. Like we're not dealing with.
That's true.
You know,
and we seen Wellington
Volkanovski,
we seen Wellington on his back too, getting the ground and pound.
and we've seen him just completely look for ways out of the fight. I'm sorry, I can't overlook that. So I'm going for, and then he was losing the Misha fight. Remember Misha was ground and pounding him, trying to submit him. He armbarred him out of nowhere.
Remember, like Misha outstruck him 30-15.
Oh, Misha was putting it on him. He literally just left his arm in there, and he just. So this split decision could be a loss. Maybe even should be a loss. And then this right here was a gimmick. I mean, they gave you somebody who more than likely was gonna mess up, and that's what happened. So I'm going with Andre, man. He would have to really mess it up. He would have to stink it up really bad.
Oh yeah, he just more complete, more.
He's just better right now.
Yeah.
So.